My assumption is among those of you listening, concerning special names attached to this Mesmerized song. Some of you are Amaranth fans. If so, this is the first step in fulfillment of a promise I'd made to you with recent Amaranth coverage regarding GG6, their former unclean vocalist for anyone who's not experienced the group, and I would recommend Amaranth. Even though we're in a different era, and their new vocalist is exceptional on the unclean grounds, those are hard shoes to fill. I said that at the time that we were operating from a void of who's coming in the group, because when GG6 left, or Henrique, he left quite an impression. So much so that I have a real special place in my heart for his vocals. I mean, he's an incredible, impassioned singer if you've never listened to him, and we're about to experience something new, but I told you there, my intention was to one day, like I do with many artists I find special, especially in the European grounds, broaden out. Find out whatever projects they've done perhaps in the midst or post-band departure. And that's what I'm doing with GG6, our first step on that route. And I've cataloged a couple of her names, Mesmerized being the first, and a relatively new arrival to my knowledge. Because, in fact, when I mentioned that, I hadn't cataloged examples. I had just put it out as kind of a perspective idea. And very recently, I think it was Dynasty. He appeared on one of their tracks earlier on via The Dark Delight, From Sound to Silence. There were, I think, about 4 suggestions, 3 or 4, that I named. Mesmerized being one. At the time I was editing that video, it was a fresh discovery of, to my understanding, a very young group in their metal career. Hungarian as well, first for the channel on those grounds, but you know I love European metal, and of any stripe, whether it be familiarized large names or perhaps some smaller ones. And many of you know I love checking out smaller names. I mean, this video kind of fulfills a lot with Mesmerized, not only with the GG6 connection, but I have a special place in my heart for covering emerging artists, and Mesmerized, as I said, qualifies as, I believe, a modern metal group of Hungarian origin, I think. Though I thought I heard somewhere else there was a bit of a mixture, like an electronic. I might have that wrong. We'll see together in terms of first debuts. And I am covering this in a bit of a different order, to be honest with you. I had actually thought about doing this one last, but I thought it'd be fun to go about this in a similar manner of what I expressed with collaborations, right? Via the networking process. Use collaborations to learn new names. Use a familiarized artist, if offered, right? And that's, in this case, GG6, to learn about Mesmerized. So in that respect, we're going to start with CYANIDE, and then following, I have another 5 tracks I think I've lined up for consideration, and that's going to go in order of the album track listing. But we're going to start with what brought me in. Fitting for the respective GG6, but welcome Mesmerized, and I'm very curious to engage with them. At this point, there's not been one artist or song I've not loved, so we're taking a bit of a gamble here again, but faithfully, I'm sure it'll be great. It's been routine case, and I expect no exceptions, especially of the European origin. That rock and metal space is incredible. Let's experience, so on a first debut, perhaps, maybe for many of us, maybe some of you have listened to this tune in anticipation. If so, I welcome your company, and I do hope for diversity among all of us listening to these pieces together, that some of us are knowledgeable, others are not, right? Many times, I am very much an initiate listener. That's where I stand, probably alongside many of you, with Mesmerized. But we're going to experience this together and enjoy music in a collaborative manner, which I do think enriches the process. But with a new group, to my attention, and maybe to yours as well, Mesmerized. First arrival, and more to follow. At the very least, 5 more songs. Maybe with new developments, open door policy here for anything new, right? But we'll see what we feel about this group on initiation experience. Starting with, where's the original song? Mesmerized, and a return as well to GG6. How great. Not bad intro so far. Smooth. Emphasize percussion. Bit stretched. Ooh, not bad. Very Amaranth. Oh, this is great. I love it. You know, I'm warming up to electronic music, but ooh, like power metal, modern metal, electronic metal, great hybrid here. Not bad, I love it. There's a real beauty about Fresh Impressions. That's great. Good hybrid vocal placement. Reminds me a lot of AMRAMP 2 on structuring. Yes, they depart. They're specific to their own craftsmanship. This is great. Some of the synths are a bit higher on their twinge, but no, AMRAMP's done that too, but there's something special about this one. Distinct. But it's deeply reminiscent. That's a great line. I wonder if all the work on Rika's done since departing kind of is reminiscent of AMRAMP. I don't know. Maybe there's some departures. Ah, he's incredible. New single out now on iTunes. I couldn't find it though. Interesting. Maybe it's labeled differently. It's an adventurous song. I love it though. Good background vocal placement. Very different vocals. Reminds me in structuring a lot of AMRAMP. But the individuality of the song I found incredibly charming. The funny thing is I can't tell who that was. Part of me says it's Enrique, but then it also sounds like their lead vocalist. I forget the name at the moment. I had it noted somewhere. To my knowledge, this is actually the... Where did I write it down? CYANIDE is not only the last song I had planned originally on covering, I think it's the last song in the album. Yes. So we're starting in an odd place. Like I said, the conclusion of it at the beginning. That's where I normally like to originate. But, oh, it's not bad, though. I gotta tell you, I got like a full... I know I'm not the only one, right? I don't like to speak for anybody, but hey, imagine there's gonna be a concurrence of this in the comment section that I feel like I'm listening to AMRAMP just in a different voice. It's so stylized. I would have to believe they're an inspiration. It's fitting, though, for GG6, isn't it? Doesn't that just sound great? I love it. I love being reminded again of where I was earlier on. Just a few months I've been an AMRAMP fan. Though I've known about them for a while now. I spent a lot of time with them since. With all of you. Same experience of what we're doing now with MEZMERIZED. Though, again, larger name. Now we filter into the smaller via the collaborative thread being GG6. And isn't he charming? Anybody who's not yet been introduced... Don't you like him? Don't you want to experience more of him maybe on AMRAMP? It's great there. And of course, other collaborative work that we'll be getting to in the future if it's just being the first project to launch us into that. But I didn't expect. It reminds me a lot of one of those AMRAMP tracks on structuring. Again, it's specific to their own credit here. This is a good medley of electronic. I thought I read that they were either it was that they were a modern metal group or modern metal in a sense of the subgenre. I could see interplay in a number of respects, notably modern, power, and electronic. Those are the three that really come to mind. Heavy synth dominance. Lighter vocals, though. I really like the frailty to this voice. It's different. It reminds me... I'm not trying to just reduce them to being, AMRAMP comparable. They're fine on their own standing. This is a great track, I think, to evolve from. I wonder if there's a variance in execution, too. There's a bit of a mixture from time to time on AMRAMP's work as well, that I have to wonder if we're going to see an evolution on the field over time, or if this is going to be a dominant grounding, right? Something along the lines of CYANIDE on sound, but perfect execution, high drama, good line work, too. What was that one piece of the narrative? I'm toxified. What's the line before it? Don't touch me for I'll burn alive. I love it. Charming display as well, but really good construction of a number. It's tight. It's... How long was that piece? Just shortly under a little over 3.5 minutes. Not bad for a first initiation, and one that paints a great foundation going forward in our study together on more works of theirs concerning MEZMERIZED. 5 more in total, and we'll be recapping back to the beginning with the next song, so it'll feel a little more like what we're supposed to be doing, or at the very least me, on typical structuring. But it's a good welcome work. I mean, it fits as well with the emerging artist, right, to bring on a collaborative artist, so you bring in that name presence and bring in maybe new fans, and for GG6, I know there are many, myself included, so that was the draw, right? See, it works. This is what I love about collaborations. You study that type of networking thread, use one familiarized name to discover others, and oftentimes you find something quite charming. Again, gamble fulfilled. And obviously with the European metal market, I know what I'm talking about. Widely successful, whether it be well-known or establishing artists. And the drama, the erratic pacing on this piece, but precision, good feel, tight choruses as well. I mean, it has smaller sections, and each the song feels like it tracks along in sections, but it works. It's distinctive. But the stylization, again, I'm really warming up to electronic metal, and MEZMERIZED is yet another charm point. And there's been a couple, but I like that work. It's a great beginning. And of course, we'll only continue from here. But for now, I'd love to hear where many of you stand in the comment sections if you wish to disclose your perspective and your angle of familiarity. Have you heard MEZMERIZED before? Or are you like me? This is your first initiation and what brought you in, right? Maybe just, I cover a good range of artists here, so maybe it could have been that. Or I would imagine for a number of you, the statement is going to be GG6, like myself. I would love to hear what point of approach you take down below with this number. More to come from here, but CYANIDE is a great introduction, not only to return back to GG6, but to introduce a new group. An ever charming piece, an ever charming artist. I cannot wait to hear more. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.